Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe and Star Wars: The Force of Evil, among others. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Sam Quattro.
Hey.
Today, Sam and I will be discussing Tiger Philanthropist, the March 3rd episode of Steven Universe. We discuss Steven Universe every week here on the Overly Animated Podcast. You can check us out at overlyanimated.com or search for the Overly Animated Podcast on iTunes, your other favorite podcatcher. Check out our star finale coverage and our previous Steven Universe podcast. But let's get into Tiger and also get your feedback in for Tiger Philanthropist. Leave a comment on this article or on YouTube comments, or send an email to Justin at overlyanimated.com. And Justin is a big wrestling fan, so I think he's going to be excited to get into this episode on our feedback show. So that'll be fun. But yeah. So let's get into Tiger Philanthropist. Sam, what are your thoughts?
Oh my god, that was so useless.
Yeah.
Alright, so in like any other cartoon, this would be like, par for the course, whatever. I don't really care much for these types of episodes. There's really nothing to gain from it. This just feels like season 1.
I mean, it's literally a follow-up to episode 9 of this show.
And I think that they lampshaded that a bit in this episode, like the sequel nobody asked for.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't really do anything for me. It was kind of a waste of 10 minutes, 11 minutes when I could have been doing something else.
That's a little rude.
No, I don't really care if it's rude. I was doing other things, and I had to stop those, and yeah.
Yeah, I was also doing other things. And,
I know.
Yeah. I was busy playing Zelda and no belief to podcast on Tiger Philanthropist, but we can get more into that later when we have nothing to talk about after we run out of things in 10 minutes. But so yeah, I didn't really get anything from this episode. I didn't think it was particularly bad. Like, nothing that happened in it was bad. I just didn't care about literally anything that happened.
We're just too old, Dylan. We can't get joy from this sort of episode anymore because life is just too pressing and crushing. Okay. And we can't enjoy anything.
It took
anymore.
2 minutes until the existential stuff to come out in the Tiger Philanthropist discussion. If you had the over-under on
when Sam just goes into existential crisis mode, which is all the time.
Yeah, it was the under. But I thought that this was funny. I think that there are a lot of funny moments here. So I think that's the best part of this. I think the characterization stuff for Amethyst and Steven was pretty light and inconsequential. At least they got into some of that. The Lars stuff, I've really liked what they've been doing with Lars and Sadie recently, and I think that, what they got into with them in this episode was pretty disappointing in comparison. Really, you can't even throw, you can't really throw us a shipping bone with the Lars and Sadie moments. They attended the thing together, so I guess they're on a date, but, really, and all the Lars characterization stuff was pretty minor, and he's just being, I don't know. I didn't really take anything away from Lars in this. I didn't really take anything away from Steven. The financial jokes were the best part, I think.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lars had a few good lines too, but, so we're going to treat the episode as is, and we're going to break it down, and then we're going to get into our mandated why do they make episodes like this discussion after this, but we'll pocket that until we finish talking about the episode. So, any standout moment that you can think of, Sam?
I don't know. I guess the end where they lose. That was it.
It was a nice moment,
They have free Saturdays now. Apparently, they've been doing this every single Saturday.
Yeah, that was I like how they unfold the mythology with that. This is I guess my Saturdays are free now, and it's really, you've been doing this every Saturday since season 1.
Every single Saturday. Really?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
That's a very Dylan reaction.
I don't know. You were in space for a little while. I think you missed something.
Yeah, they might have missed one from when they're in space. I agree. Yeah, I relate to that's Amethyst. That's the line when Steven goes on hiatus again. It's like, oh, I guess our Friday nights are free again. That's us when that happens.
Who knows when that's going to happen, though.
Yeah, but well, yeah, and that's another thing to discuss. We'll talk about the fact that we're gonna get more episodes next week. So
Oh,
yeah, so we'll talk about that too at the end. If so, bear with the actual episode discussion before we get to more interesting things. But JK, but not really JK. But yeah, I the ending was kind of nice, I guess. Yeah, they had a hug, which was good.
aw.
Yeah, it was. They had some like stylistic action shots with American colors, like blue, white, red. Like it was. I don't know why this needed to be
Hogan
patriotic.
imagery.
Yeah, that might have been
Kurt Angle.
Yeah, I guess that's a wrestling reference that went over my head. Justin will go over all of the things I missed on the feedback show.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and yeah. So, what do you think of? Okay, I have like one serious discussion point, which is, that Amethyst here says, the wrestling was when I felt like I wasn't good enough, but now I don't need it. So like that's it's a pretty big proclamation for Amethyst's character. Amethyst is saying like I've the arc that I went through at the end of last season, and I feel like Amethyst feels like she's in a good place. She doesn't feel inferior compared to like Pearl and Garnet, which was kind of the impetus for that episode in season 1. Are you buying that our Amethyst drama's resolved now?
I don't think it's like fully resolved. I buy that she feels quote unquote good enough to not have to like do wrestling every single Saturday night now. Like at least like in her like prowess as like a fighter and as a fighting being, like she doesn't feel like she has to do that anymore. I think that sort of thing, as with anything really, doesn't really go away. But I think after using something as a form of therapy for so long and sort of like exploring those issues that had you start doing that thing in the first place, it kind of gets to be a little old and you don't really want to do it anymore, especially if you've been doing it for like every Saturday night for a couple years, and it's you kind of want some free Saturday nights sometimes, Dylan.
That's the takeaways you want to, yeah.
Maybe she wants to go out and party. Who knows?
Yeah, I agree. It's not like Amethyst is like, fully resolved on all the stuff she's been having, but it's nice that she says that she's in like a good place with that. And I think it's definitely earned given her arc at the end of last season and everything we've seen from her. Like even I'm not 100% convinced that this episode was supposed to air right now. More on that later, but
yeah, me neither.
Yeah, but it also I think kind of works with Amethyst having interacted with the other Amethyst in the zoo arc.
Yeah,
like I feel like it fits. Like she's like a much improved self-image now, and it's like it's just a better image of like her as like her place in gem society and stuff like that. So I don't know. This like works as like a statement on Amethyst's current character for me.
Yeah.
What do you think of this Steven stuff? Do you think I feel like on the surface his emotional stuff in this episode amounted to I like doing this thing with Amethyst. Now we're not doing this thing anymore, and I'm sad. Is there anything like beyond that?
I don't know, like Steven really cares about other people's opinions. Apparently, like he really cares about what Lars thinks about his wrestling character, and that's me. I'm going to assume that he cares about what the rest of the audience thinks and how people see him, just like as a person, and like his creative endeavors and like what he's doing. I think that's something else to take away from that. Being self-conscious about what other people think, but that sort of gets resolved at the end a little bit, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It worked more for me just being like, oh, I can't bond with Amethyst anymore over this thing that we do together.
Yeah, I like that angle, and I do think the Steven Amethyst bond is something that's been really working recently. Like the Smoky Court stuff was really good for them, and
bring back Natasha Lyonne so we can do that more often.
I mean, I don't know if I don't think the voice actor is the impediment for that, but yeah,
yes, it is because I love her, and it's.
Well, it may be the impetus for you, yeah. But
bring her in universe and just have a whole Natasha Lyonne show.
Okay, yeah, I do think we should bring Smoky Courts back soon. But yeah, I think this was good for Steven Amethyst Bond, decent Steven episode, decent Amethyst episode. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Um, so let's go through. What do you think of it? Just what's with this concept of bringing this back? This was episode 9. This season 1, and here we are with the sequel in season 4. How many years later?
No.
Four
I just
years
feel
later.
like
3 years later.
I
Yeah.
feel like they felt like they opened something up there and they didn't, and they wanted to like resolve it somehow.
Mhm.
Like, oh, like Steven and Amethyst started doing this thing and like we're never going to hear about it again. It's kind of like how they brought back the watermelon people a little bit, I would think, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if they really thought. I see where you're coming from. I wonder if they really thought that. I think clearly that you don't have to bring back like early season 1 plots like this. Like, there's no reason that these things should be brought back.
Oh, there's always a reason, Dylan. Time is always happening. And just because we're not seeing something happening doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah, but no, who cares about that? Like, there's a lot of things in their lives that we don't see happen. It's like the only reason they'd bring this back is because they wanted to. And I know, I just see Matt Burnett, writer, tweeted, a lot of personal investment in this one, he says about tonight's episode.
Matt Burnett, please explain this to me.
I assume he's a wrestling fan?
I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's why. I mean, I don't remember him mentioning wrestling on Twitter, but
John Cena.
Mostly he just talks about Magic the Gathering, which is I love too, and I relate to him on that level. But yeah, it's John Cena. That's I say wrestling, you say John Cena. That's all you got there.
Okay, so Dylan, I used to watch wrestling like really religiously until I was about like 11 or 12, maybe 13. You know, my era ended with the like rise in popularity of John Cena, and I have no clue where wrestling is right now.
I believe he still exists. I think
he does.
Yeah,
I'm sure he does.
I think he's still a character. Yeah,
he's a meme now, not a wrestler.
Yes, well, I think he's both, but yeah, he's like acting too. Like, okay.
Have you ever seen him in a suit? It's really funny.
Yeah. He hosted SNL, right? Like, didn't he?
I don't know.
I think so. I think he did. Okay, let's go over the specifics of the episode.
Yeah, I feel like we've tried to do this like 5 times.
Well, no, that was my high level stuff. We got that down. So let's do the specifics now. They're still tag team champions, I guess, 3 years later.
I guess I don't even remember that happening, but
What do you think of the role of Mr. Smiley as the announcer? You like that?
I wonder how much he's getting paid.
I assume he runs the whole thing. I assume that's what's going on here.
Yeah, probably.
And they probably don't make very much money, but
yeah, probably not.
I do.
I mean, it's just in like an abandoned warehouse.
Why didn't we bring Mr. Frowny into this episode? That's my. He
critique. Went back to England, probably.
Is he from England? I don't think so.
Yeah, he had a British accent.
Well, I understand that, but yeah, okay. Let's talk more about that episode. I love that episode. Okay, but Amethyst is over this. Lars is upset.
Amethyst.
Amethyst is over
this. It sounded
this.
like you said Samethyst.
I think you're projecting onto Amethyst, which is good because she's great. So
I relate to her.
Yeah. We talked about got my Saturday nights back. Lars is upset. My favorite part is the financial stuff and the Lars Sadie back and forth. Sadie's like thinks Steven is Tiger Miller. Lars is like, you and your theory, Steven is not Tiger. And then Sadie at the end is like, it is him, right? Like I liked all that. That's good. How does Sadie put up with Lars being so stupid?
I don't know. I feel like that, who knows? I don't know.
It's kind of endearing, I guess, though, because he's so
love is weird.
Love is weird. There you go. Yeah, and then those scenes were nice, and then Steven trying to act like it's not him to Lars and stuff like that. One of the wrestlers, Wolf of Wall Street, Lars and Sadie.
Why did they bring Leo DiCaprio?
Yeah, I guess they couldn't get him. That's the one. That'd be a reasonable voice actor assertion, unlike all the other ones.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah. When can we get him for Steven Universe? Yeah, we got Nicki Minaj. Why can't we get Leo?
Yeah, it's true. Lars and Sadie in the audience. He's gone forever. He retired to his huge stacks of money. Is Steven's backstory. Tiger, philanthropist, and then Mr. Smiley, a person who gives money away. I think that's like him looking it up. Like the definition of philanthropist. I guess that's what that is, or explaining to his dumb audience. It's one of those two. Like why he
So
just says the
I
money
didn't
of the
really know
word.
what philanthropy meant until like I just read people's Wikipedia articles and just like lists like
Yeah,
personal life and philanthropy.
that's a big Wikipedia word. You'll see that a lot on there. Yeah. Need a loan. I'm actually pretty financially stable. The overdraft, medical bills. Yeah, I like all the financial.
Money. We're all really poor.
Yeah, but I liked all the financial dialogue there.
I didn't like it. It made me. Well, it was funny, yes, but personally, just
So okay, funny,
reminder
good.
of all the bills I have to pay.
Lars was upset. Reminder of all. Yeah, Lars later. He's complaining such a weird angle. It's the sequel no one asked for. Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. What do you want to? What do you want him to do? Says Steven. Lars says, I'm a complex individual teenage boy. He also said like, stop being concerned about my well-being or something.
Stop
right?
being like overly
invested. Yeah,
invested in my personal well-being or something.
Yeah, that was a good line too. Yeah.
That's Dylan. Dylan's too invested in Lars' personal well-being.
I don't know if that's true. I do like Lars.
I don't know.
though.
He's your new favorite character, isn't he?
He's not my new favorite character. Compared to you guys who hate him, I do. I guess I like
well,
him.
new Lars is your favorite.
Well, that doesn't mean that Lars is my favorite. That's just
Yes,
the
it
best
does.
episode ever. Why couldn't we have gotten the sequel to New Lars instead of the sequel to
Too
Tiger?
soon.
Yeah, too soon. I guess so. I guess we have to wait 3 years for these sequels.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, liked it better when I was doing it for you. Needed it when I felt like I wasn't good enough, but now I don't need it. Steven liked it's their thing together. Back in the wrestling, boo, philanthropy is lame, says Lars. There's other teams who I assume are references
like
to things.
Construction people and like
yeah,
pretty the pretty ones are like a reference to some
so we'll
wrestling thing. I know the commentators and Justin's
we'll defer to Justin on that. And Puma meant everything to me. Won't let you give up our memories. Hug, go out with a bang. The action shots, and yeah, boom, done.
Like get their butts kicked, and then they died because Steven is a child, and they're beating him up.
Yeah, yep, that's what happened.
That's mean. No beat children up.
It was an interesting ending. The best thing I have to say about this episode is on CO, someone said this episode was good, just like my quince, and then they actually had quince, which no one understands unless you know 4chan, but they got
I don't.
Their post number was 904 and then 5 zeros, so it's like they predicted that. So they have decreed that the episode is good, therefore it's good. There you go.
I thought you were talking about like the Disney Channel original movie Quince.
I didn't know that existed.
It does.
Okay, yeah. Here's a discussion on Matt Burnett's post on Twitter on CO. Let's see if there's anything good here. Yeah, they're also confused why he had personal investment in this episode. So we'll get that. We'll see if we can get that resolved. Yeah. So it's okay. So like. Obviously something's wrong here with SU. Like we have a lot of these inconsequential episodes in a row and none of them are great. So, I think it's a combination of factors. I think one, that Cartoon Network's not airing things in order. I think that that's very possible because Tiger Philanthropist was on the schedule before and then it like disappeared for a while and now it's here. I think Cartoon Network wants the plot consequential episodes to air when they do their bomb formats, their daily formats. And then they save these inconsequential episodes for weekly, which really just exacerbates the problem because these episodes would be more tolerable if they were in a bomb format. But
I agree.
Yeah, it's really tough to have Rock Naldo into Tiger Philanthropist 2 weeks in a row. Another thing Cartoon Network does, which we don't talk about that often, is that they don't air episodes in half-hour chunks. For Star, when they go weekly, Disney goes weekly, there are 2 11-minute episodes back-to-back. So
yeah, and Nickelodeon used to do that too.
Yeah, so we have to understand, like, these are kind of a half an episode. I mean, it's a full episode, but it's like half a production, full, like, 30-minute production sequence. So we're really spacing it out as much as possible with these. And the other thing is that this show shouldn't be doing this episode. Like, there's no reason that Steven Universe should make this episode. I really don't. I can't fathom why the crew did this. Like
the sequel, no one asked for.
Yeah, and I'm glad, and I mean, I'll rant about this for the fifth time in a row, but you shouldn't lampshade yourself if what you're doing isn't good. I've complained about this a lot, but, it really just, it's like you're patting yourselves on the back for doing something bad, but, and it's like this episode's gonna play better for like wrestling people, and maybe there's some sort of investment in this that we don't understand. But really, it's not this episode specifically. That's the problem. It's more just the show is better than these types of episodes, and it's not that no plot happened. It's that just nothing at all really is consequential from this. There's really not character moments. I mean, there's like, we talked about the two minor character moments, which we got from other episodes already. There's no plot. There's nothing, there's no reason that I needed to have seen this episode at all to discuss Steven Universe in the future.
Agree. Yeah. Except for, they totally made a sequel to that Tiger Millionaire episode from 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, no, we'll need to have seen this when we're discussing the third one in the series.
Tiger, what would that be? Tiger,
yeah.
What's the name for somebody who's poor?
I mean, yeah, we'd have to find the name.
Tiger Poor.
Yeah, Tiger Poor. There you go. Yeah, he loses all his money after he gives it away. That'd be the next in the. Yeah, in the
I didn't want to say homeless because I feel like that would be offensive.
I don't know, dude. But yeah. So I don't know. I just don't feel the need to discuss this too much anymore. But I don't like it. Like I'm not like I think the world of this show critically, and I just don't want to say that this is the best show on TV anymore. Like it's giving me nothing here.
I mean, like, okay, I understand. Not every episode has to be plot, and not every episode can be plot. But I don't know. I look at the show and I look at other shows. Like one that pops into my mind is for some reason BoJack Horseman, and I don't know, that's a series that like plays its like plot and its comedy off very well, and you can have like wacky hijinks, but also have like serious like character and plot moments in the same episode, and call it like maybe like a format thing or like a channel quote unquote thing, network, whatever. But I don't know. I just don't see why we can't have both. Why can't we have, silly ha 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 moments in with our, dramatic, character moments? Like, why can't we do that? And I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, why do we need to just put put all this stuff in its own episode? And I do think the plot consequential episodes have like the lighter and comedic moments in them. It's just that the inconsequential episodes don't have any sort of plot or character stuff in them. It's the problem with this type of episode. I don't think it's a problem with the other type.
I don't know. Maybe they should just, I don't know, negotiate the contract and do like the Danny Phantom sort of deal where every episode is 22 minutes instead of 11.
It's Cartoon Network specifically, like their whole animation studio is based around this format. So, no, I don't think that's the problem with the runtime, but it's
for me, it's always a problem with the run. It's like I don't feel like you can really get too much out of 11 minutes. Like,
I guess they wouldn't have made this episode if it was a 22-minute. Like, I guess
exactly
right. So maybe it's like, but I think that's still, it's not a problem with the 11 minutes. It's just like a kind of a separate thing. And it's not a plot thing. It's just that I don't know what I got from this at all. And another thing I want to bring up again, which is a really good point that we've read recently, is that Steven Universe currently has absolutely nothing hanging. No plots, no characters, threads, no emotional investments. There's absolutely nothing that we're waiting to see resolved. Like, yes, the rubies are in space, and when we met
Mystery Girl.
No, that's an example of something that's not that is not hanging. They're not going to come back to this, or if they do, it's not.
They are, because Ashley Birch.
Sam's invested in, but that's a personal thing. So like, the show's giving me no reason to tune in next week currently. Like, there's nothing that I want to see happen. Like, yes, Yellow Diamond may come to Earth, but it's not imminent. Like, nothing's imminent. No character moments are imminent. It's just like, I don't know why we need to be in this state of complete like nothingness in terms of the future. It opens up storytelling, but it really doesn't work from a current, like, it doesn't work from where we're currently watching the show. Like,
we're in stasis.
Yeah, we're in stasis. It doesn't make for a good viewing experience. Is like, not, what am I looking forward to with the show? I don't know. I like maybe something happening with the Pink Diamond reveal at some point, but that's not soon, so who even knows? So
I think that's the problem because the show gives us like so much like mythology and like enjoyment through plot and character, but then they throw us episodes like this where just there's nothing, and like I don't know how to feel.
Yeah,
I don't know how to feel about this.
No, it's kind of just feeling nothingness towards the show right now. So maybe next week we'll get it resolved. So let's talk about the future situation. So it's not 100% clear if we're getting an episode next Friday or the week after. My best guess right now is that it will be next Friday. Like Zap2,
there's not like an official date.
Zap2, it says one thing, then there's the internal schedule, then Geekery posted one thing. I currently believe the one that says there'll be one on the 10th. And the next episode will be Room for Ruby. The description, spoiler, you can skip ahead a minute if it's very vague, but Steven's gem family continues to grow, says the plot description.
Which Ruby? Just one of them or all?
It says
of them?
Room for Ruby, yeah. So that looks like a promising episode.
Are they gonna just like fuse and just be one big old Ruby forever?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, that would be.
We're gonna put them into the barn too.
Yeah, I'd like that. No, they can be the kids to the lesbian farmers. We can do that.
I thought the
yeah, but as they could it's a new sibling for the pumpkin. Yeah, the rubies. And then so it's I don't want to get into like why we don't know when these are in Cartoon Network. And then there's another episode listed after currently on the the external schedules, which is very excitingly Lion 4 alternate ending. So that's the next episode after Room for Ruby, and the external schedule says back to Thursdays, but that's usually wrong, and it's not what Cartoon Network's thinking. So, who knows? At the very least, more Steven Universe coming up probably next week, and probably.
Can you imagine what it's like to be like the head of like scheduling at Cartoon Network? Like, what do? They just go on vacation and like hand it off to like a bunch of confused interns, like, oh, just, do whatever. I'm off to,
I mean,
Hawaii.
I assume they've scheduled this. They just haven't communicated it. But, no, I don't understand what that person's doing. Who's in charge of this?
Vacationing.
It's not that much is different right now. We either get this from press release or through their internal schedule, but something that happened recently is that I followed Nick and Moore on Twitter, and Cartoon Network closed up a loop that the Nick and Moore guys saw their internal schedule from. So like we don't know what their internal schedule says beyond a week, beyond like what they show on their website. So we can't see into the future beyond the external listings, which aren't accurate. It's a whole thing, but yeah, they're a mess.
I'm tired of crazy scheduling. I'm too old.
Too old for
this.
Tell me exactly for 2 months in advance when Steven Universe will be airing, or else
please.
It's too old. Yeah, it's too much. So at the very least, though, over some combination of the next few weeks, Room for Ruby and Lion 4 are very exciting. So I'm not as high on the Lion series as some other people, but that's what.
Now, are they going to reveal that Lion's Pink Diamond? Do you think?
So alternate ending.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's the episode when it's would they really do it in one 11-minute episode? I don't know, but that's got get excited for that one, because the next Lion, the conclusions of the Lion is what's happening. Alternate ending, the Lion is ending, and it's alternate, so it's a weird.
Lion is gonna die.
Get excited. No, well, that would all
We're gonna kill Lion.
Okay. We are going to kill
It'll be like the movie Clue, which had many alternate endings.
The movie Clue. Yeah.
The movie Clue, based off of the board game.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense that the movie.
It's actually a pretty good movie. I recommend it.
Citation needed. It's a pretty good movie.
It is a pretty good movie.
Citation. I don't believe that.
There is some like really aggressive ADR happening in it, but otherwise it's good.
Okay. So yeah, let us know comments on this for Justin. If you're a wrestling fan, get in your wrestling references, comments, YouTube comments.
Favorite wrestler?
I guess so. Sam, what's our hot takes on cold food? There's no food in this episode.
Donuts.
Yeah, donuts. That's
donuts. Where do you get your favorite donuts from? I personally have never had Krispy Kreme. There's this one local place in Philly called Federal Donuts. I like their donuts a lot. Dunkin' Donuts is like, if I just really want a donut, I go there because it's close. Anyway, Give me your opinions on donuts.
I mean, like they're good, but not. It's not. I generally my thing on donuts is not the enjoyment I get out of it is not worth the unhealthiness. Compared to something like a chocolate cake or something. So usually don't have them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just yeah, it's one of those things that's seems to the unhealthiness. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna get into that.
I literally eat garbage.
No, I don't think that's true. I don't think you literally eat garbage.
Okay, well, you don't know my life.
I mean, I don't think you're going into the trash can and like taking out garbage and then putting it in your mouth. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure, but
okay.
Yeah.
But donuts, yeah. Just tell me your favorite flavor of donuts. Yeah. I like the blueberry ones from Dunkin', but every place has different kinds of donuts. I'll go with like a regular glazed one. Sure, why not?
I predict the most commented on thing is from this podcast is that you've never had Krispy Kreme. People are gonna be like,
"Yeah,
how's
I've never
possible?
had Krispy Kreme." Just never was in my area growing up, and still there are none in the area. Let me look that up so I'm not wrong.
Okay. Well, we made it to half an hour, so congratulations to us. So I'm proud of us. So, check us out, overlyanimated.com. Consider supporting us on patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to all of our patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Taylor, aka Needle. Thank you very much, Taylor, for your continued support. And, we will have our feedback up. Then we'll have I already recorded a Star roundtable discussion feedback on the Star finale I recorded that with Delaney. That'll be up next week. If you were a patron, you would already have access to that podcast. That's one of the benefits of becoming a patron. And,
yeah, did you say the favorite patron of the day?
Yeah, I did that. You weren't listening.
Oh, sorry. I was looking for who was it?
It was Taylor, aka Needle.
Yay, Taylor! Woo!
Yeah. So, what's your conclusion on the Krispy Kreme?
There are no Krispy Kremes in Philadelphia. There is one in Van Salem.
So that explains it.
New Jersey, Havertown, Pennsylvania, Newcastle, Delaware. I do not live near any of those places, so I cannot have Krispy Kreme. I've never lived any of those places.
I thought it was more national than that, so that's interesting.
Nope. So sorry, guys, there are no Krispy Kremes in the Philadelphia area close to me. So no Krispy Kreme.
Okay. So let us know your thoughts on any of this, and thank you for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.